I am 18, the first time they ask me to give up my room. Not suggest, not discuss, ask. Like it's a favor. Like I owe them for the air I've been breathing in this house since I was born. It happens on a Thursday in late August, the kind of sticky evening where the air smells like cut grass and distant barbecue. I'm sitting cross-legged on my bed, headphones half on, scrolling through university acceptance letters on my cracked laptop screen. The walls around me are the only place in this house that have ever felt like mine. Soft sage green I painted myself 2 summers ago. Fairy lights strung in lazy loops. A corkboard covered in Polaroids with friends who actually see me. There's a dent in the drywall from the time I threw my field hockey stick in sophomore year after Mom forgot to pick me up from practice again. There's a faint watermark on the ceiling from the leak we never fixed because Lila might need new point shoes this month, honey. Lila, my younger sister by 21 months. The one they call the talented one, the pretty one, the one who's going to make us proud. I'm the one who's going to community college on scholarships I scraped together myself because no one ever asked where I wanted to go. There's a knock. 3 sharp raps. Mom's signature. Before I can answer, the door swings open. Mom stands there in her silk blouse and perfectly pressed slacks, the one she wears when she's about to deliver news she already knows no one can argue with. Dad is half a step behind her, hands in his khakis, eyes on the floor like he's reading an invisible script. "Sweetie," Mom starts, smile tight. "We need to talk." I pull my headphones off. The sudden quiet feels heavier than music. "It's about your room," she continues, stepping inside like she's entering a museum exhibit she's already decided to relocate. "Lila's tutors, Madame Elena, you remember her, came by today. She says Lila's progress is phenomenal, but she needs a proper creative environment if she's going to audition for the pre-professional program at the conservatory next year." I wait. I've learned to wait. They always circle before they strike. Dad clears his throat. "The guest room downstairs is too dark, and it smells musty. Lila needs natural light for her practice hours, and quiet. Your room has the best light in the house, Ellie. The eastern windows." He trails off like that's supposed to make it kind. Mom jumps in, softer now, the voice she uses when she's trying to make you feel ungrateful for having feelings. "It would only be temporary, just until she gets accepted. You understand, don't you? This is her future." I look around the room I've lived in for 12 years. The bookshelf I assembled alone while they were at Lila's recital. The desk where I studied until 3 a.m. for the scholarships they never asked about. The tiny succulent garden on the windowsill I watered every day, even when depression made getting out of bed feel impossible. "Temporarily?" I repeat. My voice sounds flat, far away. Mom beams like I've agreed. "Exactly! You're always so reasonable, Ellie. We knew you'd understand." Dad finally meets my eyes. There's guilt there, but it's the weak kind, the kind that evaporates the second Lila walks into a room smiling. "We'll move your things to the basement," he says. "We already cleared a corner. It'll be cozy." The basement. Concrete floors, one tiny window at ceiling height, the furnace that clanks like a dying animal every time it kicks on, spiders the size of quarters. That's what cozy means in this house when you're not the chosen one. I open my mouth to say no. But then Lila appears in the doorway behind them, barefoot in her pale pink practice leotard, hair in a perfect bun, even though she's been home for hours. She doesn't say anything. She just looks at me with those huge hazel eyes everyone says are expressive, and tilts her head a fraction. And I hear the unspoken script we've all been following since we were kids. Don't ruin this for her. Don't be jealous. Don't be dramatic. Be the good sister. Be the one who sacrifices so the star can shine. So I say, okay. Mom claps like I've just handed them a winning lottery ticket. Dad exhales in relief. Lila smiles, small, grateful, devastating, and whispers, "Thank you, Ellie. Really." That night, they start moving my things while I sit on the front porch steps and pretend I'm texting friends who don't exist anymore because I've been too tired to keep up with anyone outside this house. I watch through the window as they carry my comforter, faded from years of nights when it was the only thing that felt safe, down the hallway toward Lila's old room. No, toward her new room, my room. Mom pauses to smooth a wrinkle on the bedspread, like she's staging a magazine shoot. Dad adjusts the fairy lights so they frame Lila's full-length mirror perfectly. They laugh about something I can't hear. I stay on the porch until the sky goes indigo and the mosquitoes find me. Then I go inside, walk past my old door, now closed, Lila's soft music already leaking through, and descend the basement stairs. The corner they cleared is maybe 8 by 10 feet. They've pushed the old futon against the wall and stacked my dresser on top of 2 plastic bins of Christmas decorations. My desk is down here too, one leg wobbly because they didn't bring the shim. My clothes are in garbage bags because there's no closet. I sit on the futon and stare at the furnace until the tears come. They're quiet. I've had years of practice being quiet. That's night 1 of the new arrangement. The weeks that follow are a masterclass in erasure. Lila's practice starts at 5:30 a.m. She needs the quiet morning light, apparently. So I learned to wake up before her alarm bleeds through the floorboards. I tiptoe upstairs in socks to use the bathroom, because if I flush after she's awake, Mom appears in the hallway like a wrathful ghost. "She's focusing, Ellie!" I eat breakfast standing at the kitchen counter because the table is covered in Lila's sheet music and costume fabric. I do my homework in the library after class because the basement is too cold once the furnace cycles off and the single lamp they gave me flickers like it's about to die. No one says thank you anymore. Temporary has a way of becoming permanent when the person displaced stops complaining. By October, my room, her room, has been fully transformed. The sage walls are now a ballerina pink, so pale it hurts to look at. My corkboard is gone. In its place is a massive vision board covered in photos of Lila on stage, acceptance letters from summer intensives, and a printed quote in gold script. She believed she could, so she did. My succulent garden was accidentally knocked off the windowsill and never replaced. I stop going upstairs unless absolutely necessary. I shower at 6:05 a.m. or 11:15 p.m. I do laundry at 2 a.m. when the house is asleep. I become a ghost who pays rent in silence. The only person who seems to notice I'm fading is my guidance counselor, Ms. Rivera, who pulls me aside one day after I fall asleep in AP Lit. "Ellie," she says gently, "you look exhausted. Is everything okay at home?" I think about telling her. I open my mouth, but the words feel too big, too shameful. How do you explain that your own parents love you less than your sister, and everyone acts like that's normal? "I'm fine," I say. "Just adjusting to senior year." She doesn't believe me, but she lets it go. Winter comes early that year. The basement is freezing. I wear 3 hoodies to bed and still wake up with numb toes. My seasonal depression, which I battled since freshman year, digs its claws in deeper than ever. I stop eating regularly, my hair starts falling out in the shower. I gain 15 pounds anyway because the only thing that quiets the static in my head is the stash of Oreos I hide under the futon. In February, I get into my dream school, early decision, full ride, plus a stipend. I cry in the bathroom stall at school because it means I can leave. 4 months, and I'm gone. I don't tell my parents. I'm not sure why. Maybe because celebration in this house only happens when Lila is the one succeeding. March brings Lila's big audition for the conservatory's pre-professional program. The entire household revolves around it for weeks. Mom takes her to New York 3 times for private coaching. Dad refinances something, I overhear them whispering about it, to pay for new point shoes that cost more than my entire semester of textbooks will. The night before she leaves for the final audition, they throw a little family dinner, just the 4 of us. Candles, Lila's favorite salmon, a cake that says future star in pink piping. I sit quietly, pushing peas around my plate. No one asks how my college apps went. No one notices I haven't said a word in 20 minutes. After dessert, Mom raises her glass. "To Lila," she says, eyes shining, "who's worked so hard and deserves every good thing coming her way." Dad echoes her. Lila blushes prettily. I raise my water glass because it's expected. That night, I lie awake in the basement listening to them upstairs laughing, planning, dreaming out loud about Lila's future. At some point, I realize I'm not jealous anymore. I'm just done. The next morning, while they're all at the train station seeing Lila off in her new audition dress, I go upstairs for the first time in weeks. I stand in the doorway of what used to be my room. It doesn't even smell like me anymore. It smells like Lila's lavender detangling spray and the new bamboo flooring they installed for her footwork. I touch the wall where my bed used to be. There's no trace I was ever here. I whisper to the empty room, 4 more months. Then I go back downstairs and start secretly packing. Not everything, just the things that matter. My journals, the photo of me and Grandma before she died, the acceptance letter I printed and hid inside a library book, my laptop, a few changes of clothes. I buy cheap plastic bins from the dollar store and stash them behind the water heater where no one ever looks. I open a bank account they don't know about and redirect my paychecks from the campus coffee shop. I tell no one. April is when the cracks start showing on their side too. Lila doesn't get in. Not to the pre-professional program. She gets waitlisted, which in the ballet world is basically a gentle no. Mom comes home from the train station that day and locks herself in the bathroom for an hour. Dad drinks 3 whiskeys before dinner. Lila doesn't speak for 2 days. Suddenly, the pink room upstairs feels like a monument to failure. They start arguing, quietly at first, then louder, about money, about whether the conservatory was even the right choice, about how much they sacrificed for nothing. I keep my head down and keep packing. May brings prom, graduation plans, college deposit deadlines. I pay my housing deposit with the money I've saved from double shifts. I sign up for orientation. I pick a roommate from the Facebook group, a girl named Mara who likes true crime podcasts and plants. I still haven't told my parents I'm leaving. The plan is to tell them in July, after graduation, when it's too late for them to sabotage anything. I'll have the dorm assignment by then. I'll have a plan. But plans have a way of unraveling. It happens on a Saturday in late May. I'm at work when Mom texts me, rare enough that I check it immediately. "Mom, can you come home early? Family meeting tonight." I stare at the message until my manager asks if everything's okay. Family meeting. In this house, that only ever means one thing. Lila needs something. I finish my shift on autopilot. When I walk in the door, the atmosphere is thick enough to choke on. Mom is pacing the kitchen. Dad is sitting at the table with his head in his hands. Lila is nowhere. Mom sees me and forces a smile that doesn't reach her eyes. "Sit down, honey." I sit. She takes a deep breath. We've been thinking, now that Lila's gap year is, well, now that things have changed, we think it's best if she redoes senior year at the Performing Arts Magnet downtown. They have a better dance program, and Madame Elena thinks with another year of training. Dad cuts in, voice rough. It's expensive. The tuition is a lot. And we used a lot of the college fund for the audition coaching and the summer intensives. Mom jumps back in. But we talked about it, and we think we can make it work if we're careful, which brings us to you. I feel it coming like a slow-moving train. Mom reaches across the table and takes my hand. Hers is cold. Sweetie, we know you've been so understanding about the room situation, and we're so proud of you for getting into college. Community college, I think. The one they never even asked the name of. But we were hoping, since you'll be commuting anyway, and since Lila will need the basement space next year for a home studio, maybe you could defer for a year? Just 1 year. Help out around the house. Keep working. Contribute to the tuition fund. It would mean the world to your sister. The kitchen goes silent, except for the ticking of the stupid rooster clock above the stove. I look at Mom's manicured hand on mine. I look at Dad's slumped shoulders. I think about the dorm assignment that came in the mail yesterday, the one I hid inside my work apron. I pull my hand away. No, I say. Mom blinks. Ellie, be reasonable. I said no. Dad looks up, eyes narrowing. This isn't just about you. This is about family. I laugh. It comes out sharp and ugly. Family, right. I stand up. You know what? I think I will defer. Actually, I think I'll defer forever. I walk out of the kitchen. They follow me, voices rising, but I'm already climbing the stairs 2 at a time, stairs I haven't used in months because I wasn't allowed to make noise. I throw open the door to what used to be my room. Lila is sitting on the pink duvet, eyes red from crying. She looks up, startled. I don't say anything to her. I go straight to the closet, the one place they never fully emptied because it still had my winter coats, and I start pulling out the plastic bins I stashed there weeks ago when they were at another callback. Mom appears in the doorway. Ellie, what are you doing? I'm packing, I say. Dad behind her. This is ridiculous. You're 18. You can't just... I can, and I am. I zip the first bin. Lila stands up, voice small. Ellie, please don't be mad. I didn't ask them to... I whirl on her. You never have to ask, Lila. That's the whole point. Mom starts crying, those theatrical sobs she saves for when she's losing control of the narrative. After everything we've done for you! I laugh again. It sounds like breaking glass. Everything you've done for me? You mean the basement? The way you forgot my birthday 2 years in a row because Lila had recitals? The way you never once asked where I got the money for my AP exams? Dad steps forward, face red. You will not speak to your mother that way. Or what? I ask. You'll take my room again? I drag the first bin into the hallway, then the second, then the third. They follow me down the stairs, pleading now. Mom, where will you even go? Dad, you have no money! Lila, whispering, I'll give the room back, okay? Just don't leave. I stop at the front door with my 3 bins and my backpack, the same backpack I carried to kindergarten. I look at each of them, really look. Mom's perfect makeup streaked with tears, Dad's hands shaking, Lila twisting the hem of her hoodie like she did when she was 6 and broke my favorite doll and knew she wouldn't get in trouble. They look terrified. And for the first time in my entire life, I realize something. They need me more than I need them. I open the door. The evening air smells like lilacs and freedom. I'll be fine, I say. Then I step outside, pull the door shut behind me, and walk down the driveway without looking back. Behind me, I hear the door open again, Mom's voice broken now. Ellie, please, come back. We're sorry. I keep walking. Mara, the roommate I haven't met in person yet, saw my frantic Facebook message at 2 a.m. Hey, I know this is insane, but do you know anyone in NYC with a couch for a few days? And answered within minutes. Her aunt, a nurse who works nights, has a finished basement and doesn't mind stray artistic types, apparently. I take the train with my 3 bins and $4,200 in my secret account, the one I opened the day Leela got her first acceptance letter to anywhere. Mara meets me at Penn Station with blue hair and a smile that makes the whole world feel less sharp. She hugs me before I can introduce myself. You look like someone who needs pancakes, she says. I cry into my pancakes at a 24-hour diner while she listens to the entire story without once interrupting to say, but they're your family, or maybe they didn't mean it. When I finish, she just nods. Golden children and scapegoats. Classic. My brother was the golden one. I feel you. I stay in Queens for 9 days. 9 days of sleeping on an air mattress, applying for emergency on-campus housing, and discovering that the world is full of people who don't measure your worth by how quietly you suffer. On day 10, my phone starts exploding. First, it's Mom. 27 missed calls, 42 texts that escalate from, please call us, to, this is childish, to, your sister is devastated, to, we're worried you're on drugs. Then Dad, shorter messages, stiffer, call home, now. Then, surprisingly, Leela. I found your old journals under the futon. I read them. I'm so sorry. I don't answer any of them. On day 11, I get the email I've been waiting for. Emergency summer housing approved. I can move into the dorms June 1st, 3 months early. I'll have to work full-time and take summer classes, but I'll be free. I text Mara. I'm in. She sends back a string of heart emojis and an offer to help me move. That night, I finally turn my phone off, do not disturb. There are 68 new messages. I scrolled to the most recent one, from Mom, sent an hour ago. My father and I are coming to the city tomorrow. We need to see you. Please tell us where you are. I stare at it for a long time. Then I type, I'll meet you. One time. Neutral territory. 2 p.m. Tomorrow, Washington Square Park, by the fountain. I hit send before I can overthink it. The next day is hot. The kind of early June sticky that makes the city smell like hot dogs and exhaust. I wear the sundress I bought with my first paycheck after leaving. The one with sunflowers that makes me feel like a person who is allowed to take up space. I get to the park 20 minutes early and sit on the fountain edge, watching dogs chase pigeons and street musicians tune guitars. At 1:58, I see them. Mom is in head-to-toe linen, sunglasses too big for her face. Dad looks like he hasn't slept, tie askew even though it's Saturday. Lila trails behind them in leggings and an oversized hoodie, hair in a messy bun, something I've never seen her allow in public. They spot me at the same time. Mom starts running, actually running, across the grass, heels sinking. Dad follows slower. Lila hangs back. Mom reaches me first and tries to hug me. I step sideways, her arms close on empty air. Ellie, she gasps, thank God. Dad arrives, breathing hard. Do you have any idea how worried we've been? I look past them at Lila. She meets my eyes and then looks away. I gesture to the bench. Sit. You have 15 minutes. Mom opens her mouth to protest the time limit, but Dad puts a hand on her arm. They sit. I stay standing. Mom starts talking immediately, words tumbling over each other. We've been frantic. We called the police. They said you're an adult. There's nothing they can do. We called your job. You quit without notice. We thought something terrible happened. Dad adds, gruffer. You left us no choice but to come find you. I raise an eyebrow. You drove 3 hours because you were worried? That's new. Mom flinches. Dad's jaw tightens. Don't be cruel. I laugh, and it's not the broken sound from the house anymore. It's steady. Cruel. Okay. I look at Lila. Did you tell them about the journals? She nods. Barely. Mom looks confused. What journals? I keep my eyes on Lila. The ones where I wrote about wanting to die because I felt invisible. The ones from when I was 15 and you were at her nutcracker rehearsal for the 4th night in a row. Lila's face crumples. Mom's hand flies to her mouth. Ellie, we didn't know. You didn't ask, I say simply. Dad tries the practical angle. Look, whatever you think we did wrong, we can fix this. Come home. We'll give you your room back. We'll pay for whatever college you want. I tilt my head. You don't even know which college I got into. Silence. I let it sit there, heavy and ugly. Finally, Mom whispers, community college, right? We can help with books, a car. I got a full ride. To NYU. Tisch. Playwriting. I deferred the deposit until I could escape. I move into the dorms in 2 weeks. Mom's face goes white. Dad looks like I slapped him. Lila is openly crying now. I soften, but only a little. I'm not coming home. Ever. That part of my life is over. Mom reaches for me again. But we're your family. You're the people who taught me love is conditional. I'm building a new family now, one that sees me even when I'm not useful. Dad stands up, voice shaking with anger or grief. I can't tell which is. You're throwing away everything for spite? No, I say. I'm choosing myself for once. There's a difference. I look at my watch. Time's up. I start walking away. Mom's sob breaks loose. Ellie, please! I pause, but I don't turn around. Take care of yourselves, and take care of Lila. She's going to need you more than ever now, that she's not the only one who gets to have a future. I keep walking. Behind me, I hear Dad yelling my name, Mom crying, and Lila calling, I'm sorry, in a voice so small it almost breaks me. But I don't stop. I walk through the arch and into the city that is now mine. 2 years later, I'm 20, a junior at Tisch, and my play, The Room That Was Never Mine, just won the Undergraduate Playwright Award. Mara and I live in a walk-up in the East Village with too many plants and a cat named Audra. I still don't speak to my parents. Lila messages sometimes. Small things. A photo of her new community college schedule. A meme about sibling trauma. Once, a long apology that ends with, I wish I'd been brave enough to share you with the light. I reply when I'm ready. Short answers, but answers. Healing is slow and jagged, but it's happening. Sometimes, late at night, I think about the girl in the basement who thought love meant disappearing. I wish I could go back and tell her, one day, you'll have a room with your name on the door. One day, people will fight to keep you, not your silence. One day, you'll matter just by existing. And on that day, you'll look back and realize the moment you started packing wasn't the moment you lost your family. It was the moment you finally found yourself.